Hey, good morning. This is Christy Shell. I am going to talk today about this mindset mania and the idea of resilience and how to fuel that with evidence. So today we're talking about evidence, how we fuel anything with evidence as far as our mindset goes, so that we can start to believe the things that we cannot do. So I'm Christy Shell. If you don't know, I'm from Zeal Coaching for Life and Careers. Been a coach for many years, and we ignite people's lives with passion, purpose, love, and success. So today we are still in isolation. Things are really challenging right now, and it's scary. And we're not like, I'm a very positive person, but there's definitely, something that is really rocking us as a country and as a world right now, and that is really real. And I want to feel and know all of that and let you experience it. But I also want to give you some tips about how to kind of ride through this in this kind of mindset way. So the idea of mindset, if you didn't catch our last time, is the idea of how am I thinking about a situation? The mindfulness idea is how is my internal state affecting my external state? So how am I thinking, feeling, the emotions of what's happening and who I am, and my habits of thinking impacting the reactions, the behaviors, and the results that I'm getting in the world. So that is what Mindset Mania is about. Part one, last week we talked about how we have to think of something that we're nervous or scared or reluctant or we don't believe about ourselves, and we have to restate that in a way that's positive, in a way that gives us forward momentum, that either we are going to try or we're going to transition ourselves. Good morning, you guys. Good morning. To really think about how do we go from one way of thinking to another way of thinking. So mindset is, if we change our mind, we can change our lives. So right now, it doesn't feel like we have any control though, okay? So it feels like we're just kind of in waiting, and we're really very nervous about everything that's going on. Meanwhile, we're taking care of our family, and we're, loving and enjoying and being all those things. I see everyone doing that on Facebook. It makes, the important things be much more tender to us. And I want to encourage you to kind of keep staying in that mindset of like, how can I love and, really care and spend time with my the people around me and make this time even more meaningful. I've heard a lot of my friends say that in this time, that they're really enjoying playing games with their kids, or they're really, the homeschooling, or I love the little kids walking around the neighborhoods and looking for the teddy bears or whatever, like all of these great things. So people are really working on that mindset. Please, yeah, if you're liking this, please give me a thumbs up or a heart or something, right? But today, the part two was, we have to start believing the evidence of the things we've already been doing, okay? So one of the things is that when we go from I can't statements to I can statements, we can think of lots of reasons why we can't, because what happens is our brain naturally believes in a concept called confirmation bias. Our brain does this automatically. So whatever we believe, our brain is looking for more indicators in the world that confirm that understanding or that knowing. And so when you think about the idea of confirmation bias, it's a very simple idea. Like if you are looking for yellow taxis, you're going to see yellow taxis. Or if you're looking for slug bugs, remember that old game? You're going to see Volkswagen bugs everywhere. Okay, so that idea is that your brain is looking for what it knows it's looking for. Okay, and so when you have a choice, that when we believe something, it's not always true. Okay, so if right now you're believing that your family is in jeopardy, it's also really true that they're not right now in your home while you're taking care of them. So it's easy to get really wrapped up in getting, and I can do, oh, Brittany's saying, I can do hard things. And that's one of the most favorite things she says to her set. And I think that's great. So like that you can do hard things, right? Like that's a great thing. So when you think about being, this idea of being resilient, are you looking for evidence that keeps proving that you are resilient? So I kind of skipped ahead. The idea is that when we have confirmation bias, we get to choose what we want to show, what we want to see, and we have to transition our focus from looking for the thing that we've always believed about ourselves, like I really suck at speaking in public or whatever, and because that's a huge fear for people. I really suck at that. I can't do that. I've heard people say that all the time. It's the number one fear in the world, right? Before even dying is speaking in public. So the idea is lots of people believe that. And so every time they have to speak in public, they see this, they look for how bad they were, okay? Instead of last week, I, went and talked to the school principal, and I've never done that before, and I feel more confident, and I did okay, and and I had to speak in front of my office or something, and I didn't die, and they got my message, and everything got better and got better. So you have to start fueling the evidence into this belief that you're trying to transition. So if you can't do something, and now you trying to believe you can do something, you got to look for the evidence where you believe that you can, or that you baby steps to get better and better and better at this. So it's interesting to think about, how do we like naturally know that our brain wants to go back to believing what it believes, and when we're trying to transition beliefs about ourselves, we have to look for that evidence, okay? So I wanted to apply this idea of looking for evidence to resilience, because I think today we're scared. There's no question. People are scared and nervous and those type of things. And when I want to just kind of instill this idea about your own resilience, okay? And looking for the evidence about where you have been resilient in the past, right? Maybe it was during a divorce. Maybe it was when one of your children were sick. Maybe it was when, a grandfather or your mother or father were really ill and you had to like care for them. And maybe you don't have any of those things. Maybe it's about being a mom, or maybe it's about not being a mom and the resilience of wanting that, but it's not happening, right? And I want you to really fuel yourself with the evidence about how you've been resilient, and that you come through tough times, and we're gonna come through this tough time too. I think it's interesting to go back to look at some of the other national or international situations like the Spanish flu and how people came past it. Like, it's incredibly tragic. There's no question, and I don't want to belittle that. But I want you to really understand that you have the resilience to come through this no matter who you are. And through the love of your family or your children or the people, you have to really recognize where people are loving each other instead of where people are breaking each other down. I think I want to commend like our leaders, all of them, right? All of them right now that are trying to figure out the solution, right? And we can criticize and look for all the horrible things, but watch the resilience of this country. And I think that you've got to like pull that into yourself, let it firm you up, and let it really fuel your ability to come through this. It's going to take tons of patience, right? And if you don't have a reservoir of patience, that's a thing. But notice that you do have resilience, okay? So right now, think of one place that you think that you have resilience. Can you just give me one word, like family or sickness or getting through graduate school or whatever, but give me one little comment that tells me where you have been resilient in the past, okay? Just if you're on, please stay with me and do that. The big thing is that I think for me, I'll give an example for me while you're thinking about that and writing that. if many of you know my daughter Monica, when she was first and second grade, she got very ill with a condition called pandas. It's a strep autoimmune type of thing. And she was comatose, right? Like she was really awake, but not there. She was pulling the hair out of her head. And I know that sounds really gruesome, but it was really, really true. And for about 6 months to a year and a half, we were really in this place where I didn't know what was going to happen. And I have to really say, like, I broke down and really thought, how am I ever going to get through this? And what happened is like my kind of pulling my own bootstraps up and being like, I am her mother and I will help her survive and we are going to get through this. And whatever happens is the result that happens, but nothing changes how I feel about her or what we're going to do. And it's funny because it's not funny, but it's true that I came through that, and really very little after that shakes me, right? There are times when I can, I get a little rocked and get in fear, but I have come through that, and that has given me the resilience to think I can handle anything. And so I cried more that year and a half than I have ever cried. And I was a super faucet kind of cry at any emotion type of girl. And after that, I'm like, I can do anything. I can handle anything. And it really has given me this resilience to like take over and do anything I can. Now, we got her better, and the good thing is that she has come so incredibly far, and she doesn't really remember that time, but I have to remember that time because I have to remember where we were and what we got through and the condition and the wonderfulness that she is now. And so I want you to really think about this. No matter what happens in the next few months, like, you have the resilience to come through anything. And I think there's a lot of people kind of stuck in their homes and feeling and watching and obsessing about the news and the media and the numbers and all that kind of thing. And I've now just limited myself one time a day. I will look at the news or watch or look at the media about something. And I will catch up in a day instead of trying to like keep on top of it at every moment. It is not helping me if I look and focus on it every minute of the day right now. We have to bring our attention back to what's important and loving and caring for our families and doing our work and staying busy and making this time meaningful. And so thinking about how do you pull your own resilience out? How do you, search for that evidence and really let it fuel you or fill you up and make you stronger for this time that we're going through right now. I think everyone is handling it in their own way, and I think everyone is doing brilliantly, and I've seen everyone doing it brilliantly, but I also hear people's very underlying message sometimes about the lack of control and the pain and the fear that it brings up. I think the anxiety and the stress is very, very natural, but also fuel that with that idea that you are incredibly resilient, and please fuel that mindset with the evidence of past examples of where you've been resilient. So this is Christy Shell. We are going to now, the challenge, the Live It to Learn It challenge. One of these days I'm going to get it right. The Live It to Learn It challenge today is this. Give me one piece of evidence about where you have been resilient, or what a past resilience that you can apply to this day and age and this resilience. So it's just a few words about how you are going to show your resilience. Like, are you going to get up and put on your makeup every day? Are you going to get up and, sing to your kids like you do on every morning? Are you going to get up and do whatever? Show me one piece of evidence of how you are being resilient today. This is Christy Shell with Zeal Coaching. Please catch our third part next Friday at 7:30. And please give us one way that you're trying to be resilient every day right now. So have a great week. Stay well, and love on your family and love on yourself. This is Christy.